Howdy, folks. It's a whiteout. Can't even see that. Almost done with the intro, folks. Hang on. Give you guys a chance to get your snacks, look at the bathroom, and get ready for a long show. This is Saudi Arabia, Mecca. You know, their holy site, their holy place. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back, and I'm a man of my word. All right, so let's get this show on the road here. Do a few little adjustments here. Pointing a little too high. There we go. All right, and while this loop is loading up, I'm going to take a moment to thank you guys for taking a moment of your time to be a part of this special family, okay? When you stick around to the end and you make it to the spiritual report at the end, you will indeed find out how precious this family is and how precious you are to me, okay? All right, now we got that said. Thank you again for your time. It is very important. Not much to look at right here. Here we are. This is January 6th of 2025. The sun's kind of quieted down the last day here. But what we need to do, since I haven't done a report in the last couple of days, is go back. Not much to look at on the 5th, but what I want to point out is something that happened here on the 4th. This is where we left off a couple of days ago. Big spread, big event here, big one on this side. You see this other object going out on this side over here as well. Okay, we might just kind of pluck through that really quick. You can see this big spread, a big object over here. We already took a peek at that a couple of days ago. And then the following little trailing moon, and then something else hiding back behind here that's pretty wide and dark. Something going on back in there, because that's a pretty big spread. And a big, long duration spire from that region. So there's our first one on the left. And then we got this thing coming out on the right. Right there. That's the one I'm looking for. And we'll zoom in on this really quick, because we can. All right. There's your medium-sized object right here. You can clearly see the leading edge or the back edge of it right through there. Okay, and then you can see plasma blowing off over the top of it Okay, so there's your medium-sized round black object right there with other moons and stuff accompanying it and trailing along with it. You can see this little one out in front here, some over here. Okay, so there's your well, medium-sized object back on the fourth. Okay, whoops, 125. There we go. And as it kind of moves on through there, you see it moving out of frame there. Now there's something right in there. Actually, let's go back to that frame right there, because there again you can see this bottom edge, top edge right here, the spread going out, and then plasma coming off up here. So there's something bigger going on back in this region here with this thing in front of it. And you can see the little trailing moons and satellites. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that loop back into motion. And this was back on the 4th, okay? So anything that happened on the 4th would be hitting our planet on the 7th, okay? So there's the 4th really quick. Now let's just cover the 5th. Not much to see here, just trailing moons and satellites and sputters after our bigger objects have entertained the sun there, okay? So we had our few big objects and our medium one kind of captured there in the last few frames. So there was the 5th. Not much to report on. Here's the 6th. Again, not much to see. We have this spire region still right in this area, so expect to see some more activity out of there and out of the southern region right here too. So there's that for now. Let's come on over to the solar ham now and check out our solar flux indice is at 172. We're up 3 points from yesterday, but we're well below the red threshold now, 200, so that's good. We're coming back down a little bit. Our sunspot number count is down 24. We're in the yellow here at 154, so that's good, and our area's in the green. Just pick out really quick. Here's 3947, our region of interest that's been spitting and sputtering and kicking out all sorts of stuff lately, all right? So there's that. Now let's zoom in and see how fluxed we are. Goes X-ray flux, that is. Swimming pools and movie stars. Okay, so in the last couple of days, you can see we've had some activity here 2 days ago. Here's today. All right, so another couple of M flares here, and then coming down, getting really quiet right here, hit the seafloor right there. I haven't seen it that quiet in a while. So all of our activity is kind of over for the moment. All right, we've seen this kind of 3 in a row and then a break, and then 3 in a row and then a break. Well, here was our last of the 3 in a row right here, and I'm assuming here that we're going to see a little break for a minute here. So that's good news to report on. There's a little activity going into tomorrow. We could take a peek at that really quick if you'd like, but you guys never want to, so we're just going to do it anyway. All right, only a couple of frames there, but still something coming out of this region right here looks next. Okay, right there, something entertaining that spot. I'm still going to be expecting something out of this area and down below here, maybe even this dark patch over here as well. Okay, because sometimes these things absorb light and leave a dark patch. So there's a little activity, not much to look at going into tomorrow. Already kind of tapering off there. That's good. Meanwhile, our X-flare potential still at 25%. And it's all because of that one sunspot region. But here we had today, this M4.8 was a type 2 radio blackout there. So even though it wasn't very strong, it was still, a 4.8. It still did a good little bit of damage, not damage, but, interference there. Meanwhile, your 3-day geomagnetic forecast, all clear for the next 3 days. That could change. Nothing at this channel should surprise. Some of these objects, when they go by, even though their CME didn't head in our direction, the object itself can brush up against our magnetic field and cause a, unexpected geomagnetic storm. So, meanwhile, it says active. We're coming back down. It's getting lower and lower, but we might be receiving an impact here that could catch people by off guard. Meanwhile, your aurora is very quiet tonight. That's good. Our KP was like down at 3 or almost 2 here. That's good. So we want to see the KP low like that. That's good. Meanwhile, here's your 3947. It's still beta gamma delta, but it's declining. All right, so that's good. It's declining. It's getting weaker. Maybe it's kind of finished off its little bout with an object, and now it's declining. So really quick, AR 3947 produced an M4.8 solar flare at 1624 today, a Type 2 radio emissions with the estimated velocity of 445 kilometers per second was recorded. Some dimming is evident around the flare site, so somewhat of a coronal mass ejection may be associated. A further update will be provided once additional imagery is available. The region is now a near perfect spot for Earth-directed eruptions. Okay, it's right there, so anything coming out of that region will definitely be coming our way. And we just seen an M4.8 out of it, so something might be coming our way. I don't think, doesn't say they're tracking anything, but let's do some track-a-lacking since they're lacking the tracking. And it does show a little CME going straight up right there, away from Earth, which is good. Okay, now say said object is going in this direction. Well, it hits a magnetic bubble here, triggers a CME going this direction, but doesn't mean said object can't still be going in this direction. And within 3 days, it could brush by Earth, interfering with our magnetic field, causing an unexpected geomagnetic storm. I don't want that to happen. I pray that doesn't happen, but that is a possibility out there, okay? Whew. All right, they're not showing any kind of CME impact here, just one at stereo A. That's good, that's good. Now let's open up another site here. Get rid of that one. Come on over here, get spaceweather.com going up. Sorry, I don't have them all opened up because my poor little laptop is barely keeping up with just a few pages now. Okay, here we go. Chance of strong flares. Do not be surprised if there's an X-class solar flare today. Active sunspot 3947 has a beta gamma delta magnetic field that harbors energy for strong explosions. India has already produced 3 X flares since January 3rd, and NOAA estimates a 25% chance for another one today. All right. Bright comet is falling towards the sun. Next week, Comet Atlas could outshine the planet Venus. It's falling towards the sun for a 0.9 AU encounter on January 13th. If by some miracle the comet survives the intense thermal stress, it could become visible to the naked eye for observers in the southern hemisphere. Lately, I've noticed that some of these sun-diving comets are actually diving towards the object that's interfacing with the sun. So let's watch this as it comes in and see if it entertains the sun, or if this latest one just hit the object and the CME and dissipated and just disappeared. So you can come over here, read more about that if you'd like, but we're moving on. Thank you, Dr. Tony Phillips, there to the Schumann. If we can, thank you, Lord. All right, look at that. Some good news to report. The last couple of days, it's been all over the place. Just this intense roller coaster ride. This white line down here on this side right here was going for a couple of days. And what that indicates to me is down here at this region at 20 megahertz here, that that's right about where the crust might be. So I think there was magma running along, pushing on the underside of the crust, giving us this reading, this intense reading here at 20. And you see it dissipates, and then it kind of picks up a little bit right here, and then it dissipates. Okay, so I have a feeling that this boundary, this area right here, this frequency is right around where our crustal boundary is, and where magma starts to run along the bottom of it, causing its own grinding effect, enhancing right around 19, 20 megahertz right there. So otherwise, very, very smooth day, good continuity, got a little weak right here, but all in all, a lot better than what we were entertaining before. Okay, so pressure is released. We had some good volcanoes go off. We had a new vent open up in Africa. Okay, and all kinds of fissures and cracks opened up around the site and stuff too. So a lot of energy got relieved there, as well as what we're seeing activity, earthquake activity in China now. So as all this pressure has built up down below and stuff, we've taken on a lot of energy and we see it get relieved and build up and relieved and build up. But now, where was the solar ham? Come back here. Now that all of this is over, okay, usually when we're still getting inbound energy, it kind of hampers the earthquake and volcano activity. We still see spits and sputters as pressure builds and then releases. But now that it's all over, now is when I expect to see some of our activity, earthquake and volcano activity, to start bubbling up from down below, because all the pressure from above is done. Now we're going to see pressure reverberate from down below, and we've already seen this earthquake in China. So we'll get to that in a minute here. So I think we're done with that. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and come on over to Null School here, the School of the Null. Get schooled in your null. All right. Here we are with our tropical convergence zone, still kind of shifted a little bit north right now, and that's because of volcanic vents opening up in this region. We're going to come up a little bit in height, up to 50. All right, very strong storm being produced over here. Okay, we have a big rotation here. All this is one big rotation with a little smaller one in the middle here. Okay, another little small one in there. All right, but it's still creating this effect, lashing the west coast. Well, more of Canada's west coast now. Okay, meanwhile, we have this producing over here. And on the thermals, the other night I was looking at this. I almost did a show just on the thermal setup that was right here. But we're going to look at that here tonight in a minute. Meanwhile, big storms over the Atlantic, going way up here into Finland, Sweden, Norway area. Okay, so a lot of intense weather right now. What we need to do, whoa, is stop putting acid in the punch. Come up to the polar vortex here really quick and take a peek at this. Now, we had a couple of sub-vortexes that were fighting off and stuff. Now, all of a sudden, look at this other, it's not two, it's just one sub-vortex that's gained some strength here. And look at this, it's rotating over China and everything here. So this is now bringing cold polar vortex air down into this region here, into Japan, China, South Korea, the Koreas, everything. So look out there, you guys. Look out in that region, because you're going to have some cold air come wrapping around. Meanwhile, here in America, you can see that it's diving down across Canada and then just hooking and going out across the Atlantic. Our feed, this inflow feed coming across Florida and the Gulf Stream right there. Okay, but that's way up high at the polar vortex. So there's your bipolar polar vortex for the moment, okay? Looking a little bipolar there. Let's come on down to 850. We're going to do our particulates. Now, everybody is all over the fog. Oh, the fog this, the fog that, the fog, yeah. Let me take off this wind really quick. We're going to talk about that fog, okay? Because particulates like sand and dust that we're looking at here all adhere to water vapor in the air, creating raindrops, okay? And fog is just tinier raindrops, just very small, okay? So you're getting more precipitation, you're more water vapor, more particulates in the air, causing more of your, hang on here, more fog, okay? Also, we have saturated ground, and you have cold air in the wintertime. Wet, moist ground with cold air and more particulates creates a thicker fog, Okay, and that fog's got particulates in it. Here we are looking over at Saudi Arabia, another intense plume starting to grow right there, another intense plume going right there. What's he doing now over here? Something weird going on over there now. Meanwhile, Australia having its own independent sandstorm. Okay. Now, while we're at particulates here, we're going to go through some of these. All right. This is dust and sand. Here's 1 micron. Okay. So this is a different size particle, and it's out there adhering to water in the air, causing any kind of cool air to produce fog. Okay. Then we're going to come into 2.5 micron. Okay, and you can see that these particles are all over the place. You're breathing this stuff in. It's all the way around the world, by the way, okay? So it gets picked up in storms, all right? Then we'll go into 10 micron here, a little bit bigger. You see, look at this part of the world. Look how much how much particulates, how many particulates, how bad their particulate problem is there in that region. Okay, and more rain, more particulates sticking to water, sticking to particulates. And look at Saudi Arabia. You think nice why they're having flash floods and stuff, because there's so many particulates in the air. Water adheres to that stuff and makes storms. Now we want to take it to this one. This is SO4. Okay, this is a sulfate. It's not SO2, it's SO4. Now, this particulate, when water adheres to this particulate, it actually makes a chemical bond. Instead of just making rain, it actually makes a chemical bond. Now, when you bond H2O with SO4, you get a new chemical compound called H2SO4, which is known as sulfuric acid. Okay, so your fog has particulates, it has sulfuric acid in it, okay? And this is poisonous. This gas is poisonous. It will make you sick. Yes, if you go out in the fog, you're breathing all kinds of particulates. You're breathing sulfuric acid. And then we come into our chemicals, to our SO2. Okay, we just did SO4. Here's SO2, another sulfate, only 2 oxygen atoms per molecule. And it's all over the place too. Okay, so you're breathing in this nasty soup of air, particulates, and ash too from all these volcanic eruptions. Okay, so here we are at your country divided. You can see it bleeding out all over the place. On this side, you can actually see all the little pores and the wind blowing it away. Meanwhile, on this side, thicker crust, mountainous region, your perforations are more volcanic in nature. There's actually a white line right down the middle of it dividing it. How crazy is that? Wow. Okay. SO2 comes out of the ground so hot it can spark fires. Just like that little vent we saw open up in Africa there, that mud coming out at thousands of degrees can land in the bushes right next to it and start a fire. And looky here, up in Canada, we're starting to see fires again at some of these sites. There's your indication of pressure making its way to the surface now, sparking it more intense, hotter plumes that are sparking fires. Hopefully you guys understand how this works. It's not really too tough to grasp. It's just that you've been taught something different this whole time. Okay, so there's fire activity right there. And when you see fire activity as a result of SO2, that's an indication of pressure down below making its way up to the surface now. Okay, it had intruded into this region earlier this year, but that activity has stopped for now. Okay, so we can take our fires off. Yeah, forest fires way up here in the middle of winter. Go explain that, USGS. You can't. Well, They don't want to. Meanwhile, Mexico has all kinds of SO2 emissions. You're looking at Cuba, the Mediterranean, all kinds of SO2 emissions. No wonder why people are getting sick. There's SO2 all over the place. Okay. Coming in here, we're going down the west coast of South America, all individual sites. Okay, this area is starting to fill in with all these little sites some more. We've seen earthquake activity in this region now, too, kind of picking up in this region now. Here's your fulcrum point on the plate boundary. Here it is on land. Got your weak spot. Pretty good emissions tonight. This one's fairly strong. This secondary one's pretty good size, so decent amount of pressure coming out. As we look down here, here's your stronger emission sites. Not looking too strong tonight, really, through that area compared to what we're used to seeing. Small little plume out here on the Pacific, mostly over here on the Atlantic, though. Okay. Cold air and moist ground create fog. We get a lot more fog in the northern hemisphere in the wintertime because of the cold air and all the moisture in the ground. Meanwhile, here we are at Hawaii, the hub of the Pacific Rim. You can see intense emissions out of Oahu. We have a volcano here at Hawaii still going off, emitting SO2 as well. Okay, we'll come on over to this side of the world. Let's adjust for their time zone. And over here, you can see the bruise on the face of the planet, the big black eye, China right here, and all kinds of very strong emissions. No wonder why everybody's getting sick over there. Okay, they got SO2 all over the place. They got SO4 all over the place, all kinds of particulates, and it's adhering to water. Then you breathe in that stuff, and then it gives you pneumonia. Pretty simple stuff, really, but they just won't warn you. Meanwhile, activity intensifying over the Koreas, still kind of blowing down through that way. Japan, volcanic island system. You can see the Kamchatka with the volcano here at the tip. All right, so all kinds of SO2 emissions, very strong through this region tonight. All India following suit here has the Himalayas, so that's where our earthquake activity happened today. So we'll get into that in a minute. Just real quick over here, the Middle East, you can see this whole region filling in slowly but surely, following suit of China and stuff. These sites also are emitting methane, which catches on fire when it comes out of the ground. So not only are they seeing SO2 emissions, but they are also having methane emissions that are emitting flames. There's Saudi Arabia. Okay. Europe. Okay, even way up here at the top of the world, SO2 emissions really strong right up there. This gas has made it all the way around the planet too. Now let's come on down here to Java. Here we are, nice dark purple. Nice dark purple tonight. Plume blowing out into the straits out there. So if you put that all back on top there, it would be a little darker. But this is our relief valve for the region. A lot of SO2, a lot of volcanic activity, relieving pressure in this region. So there's our little relief valve just going to town tonight. Look at all the emissions on this island here. Usually we're seeing, less earthquake activity in this region. Well, got a lot of SO2 coming out of that island. Not showing SO2 emissions, but these volcanoes on this whole rim are active. Then we come into this pencil-like boat-shaped island right here with two good strong emission sites. Acts like a slow leak in a bicycle tube, and all the pressure coming in, well, right around, say this be the valve stem, pressure going in, well, it leaks out right here, right by the plate boundary, keeping magnitudes and earthquake activity down. So we got that one for reference later. Meanwhile, back to Fiji here, it's showing SO2 emissions, and then out here in the middle of the water, not really showing up too well tonight, was Home Reef, a new volcanic island that's popped up that was emitting SO2 as well. Okay, so there's that for the moment. Now we're going to come over to our sea surface temperature. Oh, wait. Just really quick. So China having breathing issues, right? Well, you got SO2 all over the place. Let's go to their SO4 count. Oh, dear. You see, white denotes intensity. Black means less, okay? So you have SO2 and extreme amounts of SO4 over China, over India, over this region too. So no wonder why people are getting sick from the fog, because it's got all kinds of chemical compounds and particulates and all nasty, nasty stuff in it. All right, now let's go to our sea surface temperature anomalies, all right? And this will be for yesterday, not today. And while we're in this region, you see Japan, hot spots all out in the Pacific off of Japan. Coming in here to Taiwan, we have a good emission spot here north of this little island, or well, north of Taiwan right there. So something's coming out of the ocean floor, creating a hot plume of water right there. And it's relieving pressure, keeping quake activity at the focal point down. All right, so there's your hot spot. There's another one growing behind it there. Got this one growing over here. Coming through this region. Oh, what? Look at this. There is a new spot that has opened up right there. A couple of them right here, mainly this one, but even a couple other little ones around here. So something new just opened up right there, just south of the La Nina, right here, the equator. I've lived in my car for a while, Lizard Hunter. You can do it, bud. I'm praying for you, okay? I know what it's like. Meanwhile, down here, hot water plumes kind of going around this region. Over here, come here. No, I did not want that. I want this. There we go. Hot water plume still growing right here on the equator that's disrupted the La Nina. You can see these curved wave effects that were starting to come back here. But look, there's a little heat plume starting to grow right in there that's kind of diverting it. La Nina is trying, but these heat plumes keep interrupting it. Okay. There's the East Coast, Atlantic region. Hot spots clear up here. Okay. It's wintertime in the northern hemisphere, and we're having heat plumes up here. Okay, something wrong. Also having heat plumes in the Mediterranean here along Greece and this coastline here at Turkey. I'll send some angels your way. All right, let's put the winds on and pull over here to what's going on over here. Okay, we have this big cyclonic rotation going on out here. So it's going to start inducing storms in the East Coast here, bringing cold air down from the tropics, or from the Arctic. Bam, recycling it around, bringing it back in again. Meanwhile, this region here has filled in a little bit. All right, now you're going to see cold air come all the way down, probably to, looks like even Florida maybe. Meanwhile, over on this side of the planet here, we have this region. I forgot to talk about this region, didn't I? All right, right here, the Juan de Fuca plate comes off, runs parallel with our little line down below, comes out, zigzags up. All right, you can see there are hot water emissions along the coastline, out inside the plate. Okay, everything to the right of this is basically inside the plate. So all this area right here heating up. Okay, little cold water still trying to hang in there, but it's fighting. Then down below here, we still have this whole region of pressure and heat on the south of the Juan de Fuca, going down the west coast here. All right, encroaching in this bay here in Southern California. So we're seeing a little bit of heat and pressure. That means pressure is pushing stuff out, right? So you'll start to see a little uptick in earthquake activity, possibly in this region here and along this, now that all of our inbound pressure is over. Now let me put those winds back on there, please. Okay, I want you to check out what's going on over here in the Pacific. All of a sudden, we've had a bunch of heat grow up here in the northern part off of Alaska. This whole area has really kind of come to life and turned red. So it's changed our vortex. Our center of rotation is more way up here. But then we have another heat plume that's drawn further down and even further down. So there's your conveyor belt structure for the Pacific for right now. Now you see this offshore wind coming over here. Remember, this is yesterday. So we're getting a reverse flow that's starting to come offshore this way. And now they're calling for a very dangerous wind event in Southern California for the Santa Ana winds. Now remember, this is yesterday's map. It's tomorrow's will have more of the wind coming, wrapping around the backside, because you see how it's rotating like this. Now we're going to have winds whipping around the backside, coming back into this, up, back down, and around. So Southern California, prepare for those high winds, you guys. Could be one of the worst wind scenario situations. Yeah, just pray the fire activity doesn't kick up then either. All right. Just kind of looking around. See your matching rotation, vortex rotation activity correlating with your heat patterns. What I want to do here is go right there. Let's go yesterday. Can you see yesterday's pattern, how it was set up like this? We're rotating air offshore, back up through here, back down and around. And now today's, okay, so kind of an indication of why your weather's getting all wonky here, okay? All right, so that's good. Let's get on with our earthquake report now. Take the air off. And come on over to the USGS. Put it on the satellite for your viewing pleasure. Come on, you. All right. So we'll start in with our regular report here. Deep quake activity in this region. Right here we had this a 4.9, but it's down at 373. It's not way down deep, but it's coming up through the strata. So 373, we're seeing almost a 5. So that's a little uptick in magnitude at depth there, okay? Coming in here, here's a mid-range 4 down at 549. So there's your deep quake and a mid-range 4 a little higher up. Then we come over to here. Our quake activity has been very low in this region because of pressure being relieved out of this island. But we still have the volcano Vanuatu that's trying to go off, and it's plugged up. So any kind of pressure, around of pressure, comes up. This plugged up volcano just ends up shaking, and we have a 5.0 down at 35 there. Nothing through this region. I showed you there's a lot of volcanic activity, SO2 emissions there, keeping earthquake down. We have a 4.8 down at 165. That's going to be on a little volcanic feature here. Okay, see this volcano right there, and at the foot of it is your activity down there. Where was that other one I saw? Oh, right here. Now, this one is going to be interesting. 4.6 down at 12. That's pretty close to the surface. And what I want to do is come over here and check out that region, shall we? Well, well, well. Look what's going on there. Wonder why we're seeing earthquake activity there? Because there's a new round of pressure and all kinds of hot water plumes going on there. Pressure trying to find the path of least resistance. So much in that region that you're getting these bizarre quakes. This is well, let's look around here. Okay, these don't look too much like real seamounts. Look more like just bedrock on the ocean floor. So out there in the middle of nowhere is your quake. No fault line, no like volcanic feature really per se. So there's your diverse quake right there, caused by diverse pressure that's being caused from down below. That's why we're having our diverse quakes, because it's a new form of earthquake activity coming from down below instead of plates pushing together on each other. 4.4 down at 35 volcanic feature. 4.0 at the surface. Okay, now for our main event. The big one, a 7.1 at the surface. I want you to think for a second here. Look at this terrain. We're next to the Himalayas, which are much like the Rocky Mountains. They're thicker, made out of granite, very thick crust right through here. So your surface quakes would be down deeper, wouldn't they? But not so here. This is at the surface. There is a new path of least resistance that has opened up under this area because we're getting 5.1s at the surface, 4.9. Yeah, we know what that is. Another 5, bunch of 5 activity here. Mid-range 4s, they're all at the same depth here, unless they're not giving us the true depth, which could be a case here because they're all at the same depth. But if that's the case, we have very shallow activity, strong 7.1 magnitude at shallow right here in this thick crust. Uh-oh, something about to break through if these are real depths. Okay, now we know China not all that honest with their reporting, so but we do get some reporting, and this is showing something going on right here. And then just north of it here in this lake region, you can see all the perforations in the crust, right? You see all these weak spots. These lakes go down deep. They're not faults, but they're not perforations in the crust all the way down to the core, but it does Swiss cheese effect, okay, making it weak in this area. And you're getting 5.2 here at the surface and a 4.8 right there at the surface. So something building in this region right in here, and it's still kind of continuing. Meanwhile, Fulcrum Point quake over here, 4 down at 118. See, that's the depth that we should be seeing right around here. 118, 90s, somewhere around there. But if that's all surface activity, watch out there. Now, another region to watch is this little spot that's been kind of every once in a while when we get pressure, this place lights up like a Roman candle with a 5.2 here at the surface, 4.1, 4.9, you know what to do with that one, and a 4.8, okay? So that's no slouch. That's some, pressure being relieved at the surface right here. And here too. Meanwhile, remember we saw all this heat over here. Whoops. Come here. Right here at the tip. Well, look at what we got here. Earthquake. 4.9 at the surface. You know what we do with 4.9s here? Sure were a lot of 4.9s tonight, weren't there? Okay. Now, that's just that part of the world. Let's come over to here, where we had a 4.4 down at 43. 4.7 at 162. Plate boundary, a 4.6 there. Nothing around your fulcrum point. Nothing down through this region. Okay. SO2 emissions. We're leaving pressure, keeping magnitudes down. Okay. Go into America with all magnitudes for America. All right. Not a bunch out here on the islands, so that's good. Very small microquaking through here. Largest being a 3.6. Actually, that's not a microquake. So 3.6 right around there. More out of fulcrum 2.1. Inside fulcrum 2.3. Okay, coming down through this region again. Okay, no earthquake activities at the volcanoes so much today. That's good. But I expect we'll start to see a little uptick now that the sun is, done kind of kicking stuff out at us. We start to see pressure come up from down below. Here's a little activity at this volcano here, just a little 0.6 government camp. Coming on down, Juan de Fuca, 3.1. That's really shallow. Very quiet. Well, through most of that region, your geysers going off, keeping quake magnitudes to 2.4. A few little quakes through the Bay Area today, you guys. See this? We got pressure and temperature building in this region out here, and now we're seeing quakes. Look at this one right here. See, it's on this plate. It's the other side of the San Andreas right here. It's a 1.4. And let's just come over here. Here's your Bay Area region. Okay, see this red growing off the coast? Probably not showing this one little snippet right there because it's part of the map or whatever, but you guaranteed that red probably encroaches into this area here. Okay, and that's why we're starting to see earthquake side of the plate right there. So watch out along the San Andreas. We got pressure in the region, okay? Nothing big going off now, but after that round of stuff that, energy we got from the sun, we could see a healthy quake along the San Andreas here coming soon. I pray I'm wrong, okay? I don't like to be right about this stuff. I don't want this to be a big, devastating quake. So let's all pray for like mid-range 4 or 5, something that doesn't do too much damage. Okay, meanwhile, this little eye-type structure right here, we have new temperature, pressure coming into this region, and we're starting to see offshore quakes like 2.9 here. Current magnitude 1.1. What happened there? 3.1. A little bit of activity going on the shoreline right here at this Salton Sea. We can have one of these, please, Lord. 1.2. Yeah, just a couple little micro ones, but that's a little area to watch now. So a lot of this is going to start coming alive, I believe, here pretty soon. Now that all the inbound pressure from the sun beating down on us is over, and now the pressure from down below is allowed to kind of come up and escape. Very man-made perforations in the crust, very quiet around there tonight. Nothing at the New Madrid or along the Craton there. All right, so quick little magnitude check here. Normal. All right, good. That's good. So our main little spot to watch now, new path of least resistance going on here in China, around this lake region, even this other spot. Watch out over here in Iran as well. Okay. Japan had a couple. There's we forgot to do that. A 5 there at 22. A 5 there at 159. 4.6. So there's a lot of 5s on this map tonight. So we've seen an uptick in magnitude in our quake activity. And we'll probably see a little uptick in magnitude and quake activity around here too. All right, let's get into our volcano report tonight because that is going to be a doozy as well. There you are. Come here. There you are. 37 and 37. Wow, they actually match now. before there was more erupting than there were current. So 37 and 37 is 74. 7 years ago when this started happening to me, if I'd have told you back then, oh, in about 7 years from now, you're going to have 74 active volcanoes, you would have laughed and said, Brian, you're crazy. Well, here we are, 7 years later, 74 active volcanoes, and I am still crazy about you. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay, El Reventador. Pressure down below making its way to the surface. Magma coming out. Okay, SO2 can come out, but this perforation in the crust so big now that magma can make it out. Okay, Zvarensky. As of December 30th, the formation data indicates continued magma accumulation. So continued, swelling and pressure from down below. Ibu, 7,000 feet. IBU, 7,000. Semeru, 14. Fuego, 17. Nevada del Ruiz, 22. Sangay, 22. Reventador. That was just in the last few minutes, because here's today, which is now yesterday, because, well, time just flies at this channel. And so do the ads, man. Wow. Here's your map of insanity. Don't get desensitized by this. None of this should be happening, but it is. Here, note all your activity through this region right here, keeping earthquake magnitudes and activity down along that plate boundary. We got volcanoes relieving pressure. Meanwhile, up here at the Kamchatka, we got Shivaluz, Kluchevskoy, Bizamani, Karaminsky, Alade, and Ebiko. All of those are currently erupting. What's the other one? Svarensky up here. We got Kilauea currently erupting. Home Reef currently erupting. These ones coming to life out here. Okay, all along this plate boundary section is volcano activity relieving pressure as well. Michael here. And don't forget, we have a currently erupting volcano on the continent of Antarctica. There's Ibu. There's Amaru. There's some earthquake activity. Okay. Oh. Sakurajima, 7,000. Ibu, 7,000. Semeru, 14,000. And don't drink and drive. That oil goes in the car. 14,000. Popocatépetl, 21,000. Santa Guido, 15,000. Fuego, 15,000. Nevada del Ruiz, we saw spitting lava. Reventador, spitting lava. Dauphin, our new vent in Ethiopia. Over the past 36 hours, earthquakes have decreased in strength and numbers. Without more up-to-date deformation data, it is impossible to say whether it means that the underlying activity, supposedly an ongoing magma intrusion, has slowed, or that simply intruding magma has less obstacles now after a series of violent magnitude. Okay. In any case, the alert should be kept high. An eruption could start any time, although by no means. Okay, and then right next to it is Fantali in Ethiopia, too. Over the past 36 hours, the earthquakes have decreased in strength. Okay, the earthquakes have decreased because that vent Dauphin opened up. It relieved a bunch of pressure. We all saw it shooting out and shooting mud and like a jet fighter on afterburner with pressure. So all that relieved the pressure in the region, and then all of a sudden your deformation goes down, your magnitudes and earthquakes start to diminish. Okay, here's your volcano summary. These are all currently erupting. Okay, these are in warning. All right, don't get desensitized by this list because it's sheer insanity. I wonder why they don't talk about this on the news. I don't think most of the public could grasp this. And we're just at the M's. Let's get into the N's and the P's and R, S, T, U, V. Okay, lots and lots of volcanoes. Now, something else I want to take you to here is it there? Yeah. Oops, whoops. Why do you guys just... I want to take you to this right here. Okay. Hopefully, some of you with eyes that see might be able to see what's going on right there. And if you can't, then I'll tilt it back and you can see the eyes. Okay? And that's over Italy, isn't it? That was last year, May 3rd, over Italy. Oh, let's go take a little peek here around Italy. And I want to show you something here. This is a good channel here. If we can get this pulled up, please, Lord. I want to bring you over to Dr. Astro Geotech. Okay. Does a good job at reporting on your volcano activity. This is Cumbre Vieja in Italy. There's huge mountains of lava encroaching on people there. Okay. It wasn't on the volcano report, but here's Cumbre Vieja in Italy. Not on here. Just started going off over here in Italy. Where's the earthquake map? Oh, I take it down already? Get rid of that one. I want to come over here really quick and open up the USGS again really quick here. So this is a very important volcano because very dangerous volcano. Bear with me here. Went and X'd out the page. Okay, over here in Italy. Come on now, map. Oh, wonderful. Oh, we got Yahoo. So we're over here. Right here. Is a very dangerous volcano because of all the population around it. Okay. And now here we are, huge wall of lava advancing in Cumbre Vieja volcano. Okay. So just kind of let that finish playing. Come over here, give him a like and thumbs up. It does some good reporting. More of just layman's terms. So for the, starting volcanist, it's not too technical to get you all lost or whatever, but he does a good job of reporting current activity and stuff that's going on. And what I want to do really quick is here at his channel, just really quick, if you don't mind, Dr. Videos. 40 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 5, 6, 8 hours ago. So he puts up multiple videos per day. Here's Tonga. Here's Cave Vent, underwater volcanoes going off. Iceland erupting, Etna erupting today. So if you want to see a lot of these erupting, come over here. He does really good work and tries to do the best he can at reporting. And you didn't see it on the volcano report here, right? They're not reporting Cumbre Vieja because it's very dangerous. And here, this guy's telling you, look out. We got lava 30 meters tall, 30-meter tall lava wall advancing on this town outside of Cumbre Vieja. And, well, we don't need that, but just a year before, look what was seen over that region. Okay, a little warning right there. Hopefully, you guys see. Those of you with eyes that see can see it. Other people, maybe not so much yet. All right, so added spiritual report added to your volcano report too, as well. Pretty trippy, huh? And going unreported on other volcano sites at the moment is currently happening. Huge lava wall advancing in Cumbre Vieja. So, okay, I think that covers all of that. Now let's get to our tropical tidbits. That's a lot of. Watch out for Cotopaxi here at Ecuador. Something gives me that just jumped out at me. Oh, and Krakatoa still going off in the Sun Strait as well. Okay, you can click on any one of these and read the articles as well. All right, let's get into our tidbits now. Our tropical tidbits, that is. Everybody put your hand out. Everybody get your tidbit. They're tropical flavored tidbits tonight, so. And for you guys that like models, well, sorry to disappoint you. They're forecast models. Some of this other stuff over there. Okay, everybody just endured the big, massive storm that went through snow, all kinds of travel snarls, delays. Try to warn everybody this stuff is coming. They still get out in it and trapped on the interstates, freezing in their cars, running out of gas. It's important to have extra gas or, emergency kit in your car. Trying to avoid all that stuff with doing these reports, but unfortunately, most people just like to learn the hard way. So here we are, nighttime of January 6th, our current conditions, storm kind of moving off the coast now. Morning of the 7th, noon, convection, nighttime. See this low dropped way down here to the Mexican border in Arizona? That's going to be your new storm that drops way down in there. Morning of the 8th, noon, convection, nighttime. You see this snow way down here in Mexico? There's your low way down here. Cold air has come all the way down and is coming back up there. There's going to be your morning of the 9th. You're seeing severe weather down by that low. There's your noontime the 9th. Convection. You're going to see icing right through there a little bit, starting right around noon through the convection hours, nighttime a little bit. Then your severe storm comes up through the Gulf. Remember, we saw that hot water that's accumulated in the Gulf right there. So you're going to see a lot of moist, moist air being pulled up into this cold patch right here. Little spots of icing on the fringe, but the severe weather right there. We're talking possible. There's Dan. There's Dawn. I was wondering where you were. We're talking severe water spouts making landfall, large hail, flash flooding, all the great stuff that goes along with that. So that's our next little bout of weather right there on the 10th. Now going into the noontime, well, the 9th through the 10th. So that's noontime the 10th, convection, nighttime. You see the icing still continue there at the boundary. Morning of the 11th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 12th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 13th, noon, convection, nighttime. 14, convection, nighttime. 15, noon, convection, nighttime. 16. All right, the rest of that is so far out. But look at this big low advance coming up through here. All this big plume of moist, warm air colliding with this cold air. You see the icing where they kiss. That'll be quite a big storm right there if that happens. But that's out the 18th, which is all subject to changes too far out in the future. Too many factors in our weather anymore. We got particulates, enhanced moisture. That's fuel and wind to the fire. All right. Then you got the spiritual realm hopping in there, making things even worse. So there's your severe weather outbreak. When this low gets down here, you see this happening on morning of the 9th. You know that you're going to have severe weather later on that day, creeping in that night into the Gulf Coast, covering most of Louisiana right there. That's a big patch right there. Through Mississippi, icing pretty intense right there along South Carolina, North Georgia, Tennessee border there, going up into Tennessee there, nighttime of the 10th. Kentucky getting maybe a little taste of it, in North Virginia as well. Okay, so that's your next bout of weather to watch out for. So that's it, your astrophysics, geophysics. Now let's do some metaphysics. And this big old bad boy right there. Yeah. Now, keep talking about these faces in the clouds, all right? And nobody's taking it serious. They think they're all faces that you've made up or whatever. Well, this is somebody else took this image, okay? This wasn't me taking this picture in Italy last year. I wasn't in Italy last year. Somebody else was, and they captured this image, okay? The two eyes, the nose. The nose is in shadow because there's red from down below, red light shining up his face from down below, putting his nose, casting a shadow going up the middle of his face. But you can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the chin. I'll even kind of do this for the eyes because they're there. And he's looking down at the ground. Okay. And that's like a warning for that region. And if you know what to look for, you would see that and heed the warning and get out of Italy. All right? Because now, a year later, here we have Cumbre Vieja starting to spit lava. All right? So, very, another one of these captures by somebody else of these faces in the clouds other than me. Okay? Now, let's open up some other stuff and get to our reading, shall we? We're going to do tonight, I want this one. Some of the usuals. But that's for a reason, because we have newcomers that come and we got to kind of stick to some semblance of continuity in this show, so you guys catch the drift. New people could hop right in and kind of figure it out. All right, so there's those images. Let me pull up another one here. Yay, we got spared the ad this time. Okay, and one more was going to be which one? Oh, yeah. The typical 3 for the moment. We'll do the reading, and then we might do a little bit deeper report on the spiritual realm, if you'd like. Rapture, yeah, Rapture in hours. Well, Rapture's going to be here in a few minutes. You're going to be caught up with me in the clouds. As soon as I can get to the video. All right, there we go. Let's just go ahead and get this. See here, we can zoom it in just a tad bit more. That's pretty good right there. All right, so some of our images we're going to be reading tonight too, right there. We'll even bust this one up a little bit closer in your face. You can see Jesus here, wearing sunglasses, pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out these waves, creating another face in the clouds right there, okay? a lot of people misconception about how all this works. They think they're going to be hovering in the clouds with me. No, you're going to see me in the clouds. Ay, ay, ay. All right, so let's just start right there. And now get my light going here. Got some stuff for you guys tonight. Everybody take a nice deep breath. Relax for a second. It's all because something special is happening. All of this stuff going on is not to scare you. It's to wake the world up that something special is happening. Something paranormal, something outside the normal of what you're used to, but something that was foretold 2,000 years ago. When you see that face right there, that's my face again showing up out by the moon. That's my face is shining upon you, beaming out peace that transcends understanding. You are surrounded by a sea of problems, but you are face to face with me, your peace. Okay, so even though you're surrounded by a sea of problems, you are face to face with me, your peace. So as long as you focus on me, you are safe. If you gaze too long at the myriad of problems around you, you will sink under the weight of your own burdens. You will start to sink, and when you do, simply call out, "Help me, Jesus," and I will lift you up. The closer you live to me, the safer you are. Now, circumstances around you are undulating, and there are treacherous-looking waves in the distance, but fix your eyes on me, the one who never changes. And by the time those waves reach you, they will have shrunk to proportions of my design. I am always beside you, helping you face today's waves. The future is a phantom seeking to spook you, so laugh at the future and stay close to me. Come close to me and rest in my loving presence. You will know that each day will bring difficulties, and you are trying to think your way through those trials. So as you anticipate what is ahead of you, you forget that I am with you, now and always. Rehearsing your troubles results in experiencing them many times, whereas you were only meant to go through them only once when they were actually occur. So, quit rehearsing your troubles because they result in experiencing them many times instead of just once. Also, do not multiply your suffering in this way. Instead, come to me and relax in my peace, and I will strengthen you and prepare you for each day, transforming your fear into confident trust. Where's that other one? You see these clouds? That's a face in the clouds. So when you seek my face, and you will find more. Wait. That's not the one I wanted. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. All right, so as you seek my face, and you will find more than you ever dreamed possible, let me displace worry at the center of your being. Let me displace all your worries. I am like that supersaturated, supernatural cloud showering peace into the pool of your mind. Supersaturated cloud. That's what we have right now. Our clouds are supersaturated because there's so much moisture in them, right? And they're supersaturated and a supernatural cloud. I am like a supernatural cloud showering peace into the pool of your mind. Doesn't this supernatural cloud right here shower peace into the pool of your mind? Doesn't this supernatural cloud right here bring peace? When you see this supernatural cloud with a heart showing this love right there, so your clouds are super saturated and supernatural, showering peace into the pool of your mind. My nature is to bless. Your nature is to receive it with thanksgiving. And this is a true fit designed before the foundation of the world. So glorify me by receiving my blessings gratefully. Yeah, pretty easy. It's not like, oh, you're the crap, you're the shit. No, you can glorify me by receiving these gifts, by receiving these blessings gratefully. Because that's what these are. These are gifts, these are blessings. Each thing that you're looking at is a miracle. Even this one, okay? Even though it's scary, it's still a blessing, it's still a miracle, okay? It's still a supernatural cloud showing you the spiritual realm's real, right? Receive it with thanksgiving. It's the true fit that's been designed before the foundation of the world. When you realize, I am the goal of all your searching. When you seek me, you find me, and you are satisfied. When lesser goals capture your attention, I fade into the background of your life, and I'm still there watching and waiting, but you function as if you were alone. Actually, my light shines on every situation you will ever face. So, living radiantly by expanding your focus to include me in all your moments, then let nothing dampen your search for me. Okay, and we'll close this out with this right here. Approach each day with awareness of who is boss. As you make plans for the day, remember that it is I who orchestrate the events of your life. So on days when things go smoothly, that's according to your plans, you may be unaware of my sovereign presence. But on days when your plans are thwarted, well, be on the lookout for me. I may be doing something important in your life, something quite different from what you expected. It's essential at such times to stay in communication with me, accepting my ways as better than yours. Don't try to figure out what's happening. Simply trust me and thank me in advance for the good that will come out of it. That's hard. Thanking me for the good that will come out of it, because you don't see what's going to come out of it. So it's crucial, though. Don't try to figure out what's happening. Simply trust me and thank me in advance for the good things that will come out of it. I know the plans I have for you, and they are good. I know the plans I have for you. They are good. Some other people aren't like receiving it, and their plans aren't turning out so well. But you don't have to worry. My plans for you are good. You stay right where you belong under the protective wing. And you will be okay. You will learn, you'll grow stronger, you'll have strength to make it through your adversity. You'll see the overcoming that you're doing. You'll realize that you're going from glory to glory. You're overcoming your adversity, is overcoming the world. Every time something goes to ruin your day, you gotta overcome it. You get a little glory from it, like a little collage here, crown, right? You overcame the world, you get a little crown for that. And then you did it a second time that day and a third time that day, and you went from glory to glory to glory in your tribulation. You're growing stronger by overcoming these things. And pretty soon you'll gain confidence that the next thing that comes down the pike, you'll see this and laugh at the future. You'll laugh at the future and go, it doesn't change your destiny. Now these people over here should pay attention. But when you're in safe hands here, okay, And it's all about love, too. See this? Maybe it's tough love, and that's just what you didn't realize. Is like a father to, his children. Sometimes you love your children, but you got to discipline them. You want to see them grow up to be strong, right? And righteous and good people, right? So that's what we're doing here. This is some love. It might be tough love to some who don't understand it, but a lot of you parents out there can relate. And you are children of the Father, so as children, you're just doing what the Father says. And if you're here at this channel and you see this, this is me in the clouds right here. This is my face with the crown, okay, being projected by his heart. This is my face in the clouds again with the crown. Okay, and if you see this face, the crown right here, you have something special about your vision. Okay, your faith has given you supernatural vision, and you can see me in the clouds coming with power and great glory. And if you can see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory, you realize that we met in the air of cyberspace, where I'm live on YouTube right now. I've created a channel that where I am, you may be. You are caught up like a good book, like a good live stream, caught up with me in the clouds. That's how it works. You're not going to turn into a little fuzzy dot, and disappear into the sky like Hollywood have you think. The word rapture is not in the Bible, yet every channel out there is talking about the rapture should be happening anytime now. Well, kind of, they're right. It is happening at any moment. That moment is the moment you decide to trust me and believe me. That's the moment. There's no set time or day. No set time or day when you decide, when you choose to believe me and trust me. That comes out of nowhere too. All of a sudden it kind of clicks and you go, you know what? I'm going to trust him for a second. I'm going to practice some of these disciplines and see if this works. And when it does, then you're going to go, oh, I get it now. Okay, so the rapture could happen at any moment. That's the moment you decide to get caught up with me in the clouds here. That's the moment, is when you decide to get caught up with me in the clouds. It's a wonderful thing. It's much better than being caught up with that in the clouds, don't you think? And if this is real, well, you better pray that this is real then, huh? Yeah. You be thankful that this is real, because it is, you guys. Okay, this isn't CGI. This isn't Photoshop or AI. These are real clouds captured on April 17th, 2020, and they're bigger in your face than, that's how big that looks in the sky. Okay, it's almost outside your perspective. It's not until you zoom out and compress these that they become a lot more clearer. Okay, so it's in a dimension that's outside your perspective. Who else? Why would Project Blue Beam or any kind of man-made project generate images that aren't inside your perspective? And see, it's the spiritual realm. It's all because of who I am and what happened to me. And for those who understand what happened to me and believe me, well, they're blessed. The people who didn't understand what happened to me and don't believe me, well, those are the people that are going through the very suffering and trials that I had to go through. So until my next show, I got stuff to do. I got places to be and people to see, and you're part of that. You're part of a very special royal family. You guys have a spirit inside you that even when the times get going tough, well, that's when the tough get going. And you pull up your bootstraps, you understand what it's all about, and you're just going forward anyways. And when you stumble, just get back up, brush off the dirt, and keep going. It doesn't matter what you stumbled over. It just matters that you get back up and keep trying. Patience, perseverance. Okay, you guys practice that. You'll find it makes it easier on your life. You would think that I got this down, right? Now, I still go through these things the same you do every day as well. Okay. So I try to bring you stuff that I experienced today, fresh off the streets, hot off the streets, to bring it to you so you will have the tools that you will need so you can overcome your adversity with joy. You guys are doing it. You're really doing it. That's the best part. That's what brings me joy. It's not, hey, look at what I discovered, look who I am. Look what I can help you with. I can give you meat in due season, real tools that work in real scenarios any time of the day in your life. Okay? You're overcomers. So hold your chin up, keep going. Okay, you're taking on this adversity very maturely and trying to, shine that light of positivity into other people's lives as you're overcoming your own adversity. Okay, sounds like a tall demand, but you guys are actually doing it. It's a tall demand. It's almost like walking on water. Sometimes you're wondering, how am I doing this? How is this really happening? These people don't believe me yet. I'm still managing to find a way through this impossible little minefield, but it seems to be working. So when it keeps working like that, you're gonna see how well it how invaluable of a tool it is. Okay, and it's when you guys get the results that's what brings me joy. Okay. It's not about, oh, look at me, look what I can do. No, it's when you guys overcome, that's what brings me joy. Okay. I like to see my friends rise and not be, beaten down. You know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to thrive and live full in these days because there are people who aren't living a full, rich life in these days. They're paranoid and worried about tomorrow and worried and worried and worried. And you, no matter what tomorrow brings, you're going to overcome it. And then you'll overcome another one, and then you'll overcome another one, but you'll have 3 more glories that day. Right? So some days go nice and smooth. Appreciate the smooth days. They make the harder days, or the harder days also make the smooth days more appreciable, right? Work hard, play hard. I think that's it for tonight. I love all you guys. I miss all of you guys. I can't wait until we can all be together and just big fat hug. Way to go on your victories, you guys. You're overcoming the world. Just like I do every day, we overcome the world. One salvage at a time, one step at a time, going from glory to glory in your tribulation. Okay? Oh, yeah, writing down what you're grateful for is great. I used to write it down. Now I got a little thing I do at night when I'm laying down. It's like, wow, I got a warm bed, soft bed to lay on. I had to sleep in the dirt and on the ground and in alleys, and so a nice bed is one thing, and blankets and warmth and safety too. How about a safe house that you can sleep in without wild animals sneaking up and attacking you when you're sleeping or something like that? All kinds of little tiny blessings that are all over the place that when you recognize them and you like a thankful list, all of a sudden you just see how blessed you really are. And that's living rich and full. A lot richer and a lot fuller before you met me, huh? Ask yourself that question. Are you living a lot more richly, a lot more fully since you met me? If you have, then it's because you belong here. You're part of this family. Okay, you're a bunch of overcomers. So keep going. Keep going. Just keep getting up. Get knocked down, keep getting up. It's not about your performance, it's about your willingness to just keep going. All right? That's it for tonight. I love you all and I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. See, I'm a man of my word, and I told you I would be back. Well, I am back. Can't you tell? Hopefully you can. If not, don't give up until the miracle happens. All right. Until my next show, I'll be back. Bye. Love you all. Bye.